what it was like to be an outcast, so he sponsored a refugee during the war. He was too brilliant to do well in school. He was too brilliant to do well in school. He couldn't tell anyone what he had done during the war. He couldn't tell anyone what he had done during the war. Despite his sexual orientation, he almost married a woman. Turing knew he was gay from a young age. We know this because he developed feelings for a friend when he was in school. The boy's name was Christopher, and while they were good friends, Turing's feelings were not reciprocated. Turing later wrote that while his friend knew how he felt, he hated him showing it. Nevertheless, both were geeks, and they bonded over stuff like math and chemistry. Unfortunately, Christopher died very young and Turing was devastated. When he started working at code-breaking Central Bletchley Park during WWII, Turing was pretty open about his sexuality. Regardless, at one point, he actually proposed to his good friend Joan Clark. They did lots of fun things together, like go on dates to see movies, but she was still shocked when he asked her to marry him. She said yes, but the next day, they went for a walk, and he admitted to her that he had homosexual tendencies. She was concerned, since she thought this was something permanent, but she didn't end the engagement. That would happen later when Turing broke it off. His homosexuality was considered a possible security breach. Turing was able to continue his work after the war ended. WWII was over, but the Cold War started immediately, and code-breaking was still an important skill. He was paid the then huge sum of £5,000 a year to work for the Government Communications Headquarters, or GCHQ. His triumph was short-lived. The US and UK were working closely when it came to government intelligence, and America had even harsher attitudes toward homosexuality than England. The US thought there was the chance that any homosexual man could be honey-trapped and forced to share information on pains of being outed. When Turing was arrested, he lost his security clearance, effectively losing his job. He told one friend how angry this made him. He most likely took his own life using a cyanide-laced apple. While Turing put on a brave face, inside he was suffering. Unable to be himself, his thoughts turned to ending his life. He was found on June 8, 1954, by his cleaner. Turing had eaten half of an apple that was laced with cyanide. The coroner ruled he had killed himself. There is an urban legend that this inspired the Apple logo with a bite taken out, but this isn't true. But there may be more to this story. Friends of Turing, along with his mother, thought he might have killed himself accidentally. They claimed he hadn't seemed depressed in the days and weeks leading up to his death. There was also the fact that he had been experimenting with cyanide in a personal laboratory before he died. Rather than think he could have used this poison to deliberately taint the apple, they thought that he had accidentally gotten some on it and died. There is another, even more interesting theory. Some people think that the British government was still concerned that he would be forced to leak secrets because of his then well-known sexual orientation, and that they poisoned him on purpose. We may never know the truth, since he did not leave a suicide note. Despite his war hero status, the British government chemically castrated him. Turing had been instrumental in helping win WWII, but when it came to his conviction, that didn't matter in the slightest. Being gay was just seen as too big a crime. He avoided jail, but was put on probation and had to start taking estrogen pills. This was, in effect, chemical castration. The severity of Turing's punishment provides a window into how 1950s Britain thought of homosexuality. In 1952, the same year Turing was arrested, a progressive tabloid published an article calling gay men, among other things, freaks, framing gay people as a problem that something needed to be done about. There were a lot of downsides to the hormone treatment. Its goal was to make gay people straight, but in reality, just made Turing grow breasts and become impotent. It could also act as a depressant. However, while the Imitation Game shows Turing as broken by his punishment, in reality he kept working on various projects. His homosexuality almost landed him in jail. In the 1950s, being homosexual was illegal in the United Kingdom. Despite knowing this, Turing was almost naive about how open he could be about his sexual orientation. When he was 39, he started a relationship with a 19-year-old drifter named Arnold Murray. Murray then burgled Turing's house, who then reported it to the police. His gay relationship emerged during the investigation, and Turing was arrested for gross indecency. This was the same law Oscar Wilde had been tried under in the 1800s. In conservative post-war Britain, lots of people were arrested under this draconian law. Turing was convicted and given an option. He could go to prison or be put on a treatment of female hormones. He chose the latter.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Then take care, bye.